Hey everyone, Daddy here, and let's do some reviews from the new books this week. I read a bunch of books this week. These are the ones I thought stood out. I think we got about 15 or 16 or so let's jump into it. First off, we have Absolute Batman number 13. No surprise there. This has been, I think every issue has been a great issue. This has been the best version of all the Absolute stuff. Um, Wonder Woman and Superman are pretty good as well too, but this has been great. We see the first full introduction of Catwoman here, and yeah, we just see more of how Bruce has been, beat up and terrorized by Bane, and now they're setting out to deal with the repercussions of that. We see the introduction of Harley Quinn as well too. She's the leader of the Red Hoods, and we see that more and more of this universe expanding. So if you like your Batman dark and full of action, this is definitely great, and I'm surprised you're not reading it already. Next, we have a new, I won't say one shot, I think it's a mini-series, a few issues here of The Amazing Spider-Man Torn. This takes place back when Peter Parker's in college, so we see he's dealing with Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn and Mary Jane in that, all while he's in his first year of college. So classic Spider-Man stuff here, great artwork, lots of action, and there is actually an introduction of a new villain here. We have this female, this blonde named Evangeline. She's a thief and ends up trying to steal some kind of ancient old book that has some maybe supernatural about it, and it ends up turning her into this new kind of monster creature. So whether this is canon or not, who knows? But like I said, this is an older Spidey tale where he's in college, but I really liked it. Super great artwork, lots of great classic Spidey action from one of my favorite Spidey times. So check it out. So far, it's been pretty good. Besides the Absolute Batman, this is Batman Dark Patterns. It's a maxi series, I guess is what they call it, 12 issues, so one more after this. It's been 4 arcs where each issue, or 3 issues, 4 issues, is a story itself. Currently it's about this arsonist in Gotham. They call it the Child of Fire there, and it's been really good. I like all the artwork on here as well too, Haywood Sherman. And it's just been kind of spooky, a little bit darker, just more of Bruce Wayne being a detective in that as well. Yeah, a lot of his old villains in that as well too. Just good stories, and like I said, besides the Absolute Batman, which is almost kind of like silly and absurd, this is probably the best Batman title going on there right now. So again, not in canon. This is kind of like said a limited edition series type of thing. So again, we have the arsonist there. So it has been a pretty good series. I've reviewed all of those books as well. One of the reboots that Dynamite has been putting out, this is Captain Planet and the Planeteers. I'm not a huge fan, or definitely wasn't originally a huge fan of Captain Planet when it first came out. I was kind of a late teen, almost adult when it came out, and it just wasn't too cool for me. But I've been enjoying this reboot so far. It's still the same premise. We got a bunch of kids got given rings that represents different powers of the Earth, and when they forge those powers together, they make Captain Planet comes out. He's like this godlike figure, Superman type of thing. So he's currently fighting the Plunder. I think that's his name, Plunder. Who's like Captain Pollution. So it's almost like the exact opposite of Captain Planet, and he has these artificial rings giving him power. So this is issue 6, the end of the first arc, and it's been pretty good introduction or reintroduction for anybody who didn't really know Captain Planet and that. So art's been great, action's been good, and I guess it's kind of made me a fan, or at least I like reading this comic book so far. So looking forward to the next arc. Speaking earlier of the absolute stuff, this is DCKO. A lot of people think stands for knockout because this is a book where all the DC heroes and villains are in a big tournament, but it actually stands for King Omega. And this is the collaboration of everything that's been going on for the last year or so with the all-in stuff and the absolute stuff as well too. So we know that the absolute universe is powered by or is like fueled by all the dark side energy, and it's been leaking over into the regular universe. And now we see that to save our universe or to save the regular universe, that they need to have this giant tournament to determine who will be the ultimate hero to go against Darkseid. So sounds kind of convoluted and silly, and it kind of is really, but it does tie up all the threads that have been going on for the last year or so. The art is really good, and there's going to be a ton of action as well, because like I said, it is one giant tournament of all different heroes and villains competing to become the ultimate King Omega, I think they call it, to challenge Darkseid. So pretty good book so far. Like I said, kind of a silly premise in that, but once you get by that, it's pretty good. So another awesome book I've been enjoying all the time is G.I. Joe Real American Hero. It's 321. This is the 300th issue since the original silent issue, and so they do an homage to that. They do another silent issue here. So I know all comics are silent, but I mean there's no dialogue. So we have the two Snake Eyeses. They're at the pit and they have to defend it from an attack. So everyone gets taken out because of some kind of sound weapon that Cobra uses, which they didn't have here. So so everyone's stalking around and they're getting rid of all these Cobra intruders and that. So lots of action, great art, and just a nice, like I said, homage to 300 issues since that original Snake Eyes and Snow. That's the issue that had Snowstorm gets introduced as well. So this is not connected to the Energon stuff. This is the original G.I. Joe Real American Hero from Larry Hama since the mid-80s. Also, this is new, but kind of a homage to that as well. It's 30 years since the Cold Slither fake band that Cobra made back in the old cartoon and that. So they kind of do like a mockumentary book here. It's really kind of fun. I don't know if the Spinal Tap movie, the sequel, that has anything to give them ideas to do this, but that's exactly what this is. It's a where are they now look at the Dreadnoks, who were that fictitious rock band Cold Slither with her. So it's a lot of fun, especially if you were around when the Cold Slither episode of the G.I. Joe cartoon came out. I've seen also tandem with this, they have like the single that's been released in that as well too. So that's really kind of cool. So lots of fun, lots of good homages to the original stuff. And it's neat seeing what the Dreadnoks became after they stopped being Dreadnoks and performing that Cold Slither stuff. So kind of silly fun, but at the end they do all get back together and become the Cold Slither Dreadnoks again, only to find out that the whole thing itself, including the documentary, was just a undercover G.I. Joe operation to capture them all. So that was pretty fun. Also something that's just a lot of fun here, we have Harley Quinn and Elvira. This is from Dynamite, and it's either next week or next month there's going to be another one where it's done by DC, and it is a random, crazy, wild, super funny team up of these two characters. Harley Quinn wants to have the ultimate Halloween party, and she wants Elvira to be the host of it. So she's trying to convince Elvira to do all this, and while doing all this, of course, they get into a zany adventure. So The artworks here, all the jokes are pretty fun and silly because of what you expect between Harley Quinn and Elvira. I'm fans of both, and this has been the Halloween season. It's perfect for that. There were a ton of different variant covers for this, some Mark Spears ones as well. So do check those out. I'm sure there's probably one that you like. And I thought it was just the one shot, but it looks like there's going to be a few issues in this series. So do check this out. Just a lot of fun. We have a new Punisher series here. This takes place in that Marvel Knights, the World to Come universe that's going on right now, so quite a bit in the future. Has Paul Manani back on it doing his Marvel Knights writing, and Dan Panison doing the art. So I was interested because it's kind of like a gritty Punisher series again, and also just because of Panison doing the art. Big fan of his. So here we have an older Frank Castle. Just being super brutal and gruesome and doing anything possible to take out the criminal element. He ends up getting captured by this gang that has this voodoo drug that turns people into like zombie type of stuff. And over pretty close to a year or so, they slowly break him down and eventually turn him into an agent of their own, again using this kind of like this zombie drug. So from the south and that. So great violence here, super adult story by Paul Manani, and just amazing art by Dan Panison. So great type of Punisher story. Kind of like a sequel to the Blue Book series that Tynion did a little while ago about the alien encounters and that. We have Red Book here, which is basically the same thing, but instead of it's the American government, this is the Russian government, hence the red part. It starts off in here and it talks about the Tuscan meteorite explosion there and the impact it had on there. And then it switches over to, I think it's the 60s, when we have this 9 hikers that mysteriously died on a trip up into a mountain that, and I've known both of these incidences. They're real instances with real facts in that, and this is neat because it takes a little bit more of how it was so weird how these people all died. Some of them kind of ran from their tents naked and didn't have clothes on, and had crazy injuries, skull fractures and eyeballs missing and stuff. So no one actually really knows what happened to these people, and here they link it to aliens. So kind of neat, very familiar if you have written or read other Tynion stuff like this, like Blue Book or Department of Truth and that. So great, spooky, alien fun. And again, this is a true story type of thing based on facts from this incident that did happen. So issue 2 of the Spider-Man 94. So this continues on in the universe of the Spider-Man 94 animated series. In the first issue, they introduced, I should say, Kane and Moreland into this universe. So that's kind of neat to see. Good artwork in here. Pretty close to the old animated series. Definitely has that feel writing-wise and dialogue-wise. And yeah, just a lot of fun, a lot of action. And like I said, it is continuing on that universe. MJ's back, and her and Peter are married now, and they're dealing with that as well. And again, like I said, Moreland is in there now, and he wants to, of course, take Spider-Man and kill him and take his essence and that, but Kane is his clone of him. So really good. Lots of great action. And I think they are making a cartoon sequel on that. I could be wrong. I thought they were, so see where that goes. One book here that isn't getting a lot of attention, and I think it's been a great book so far. It's the Supergirl series. It's issue 6. Sophie Campbell doing the writing and the cover art. She's been doing a kind of a really good, I wouldn't say a reboot, but her take on this character. For quite a few years, she was the ones that were involved with all the turtle stuff. So any of the IDW turtle stuff for the last 5-6 years, that was her doing it. So I really like here how she's taking the Supergirl universe and expanding it, adding new characters in that, and yeah, it's really good. Like I said, I do like the artwork. Here is a kind of a Halloween issue. Supergirl keeps having these nightmares, and all her nightmares and doubts have kind of manifested into this inner personality called Night Flame, which is kind of like a nightmare version of her. So she has to fight that in her dreams, and while that's going on, all her friends, who are these new characters that have been introduced over the last few issues, are trying to help her on the outside. So lots of good fun. If you like Buffy the Vampire type of stuff, or Scooby Doo and the Gang type of stuff, or even the Super Sons type of stuff, or Ninja Turtle stuff, even like team books and that. This is kind of fun. Like I said, a really good new version of the Supergirl. So we have the Black Label Superman Kryptonite Spectrum series going on here. This is a neat series because it's the Ice Cream Man team that's doing it, so the writers and the art team from there. Superman has been testing out these new types of kryptonite that have shown up, different colors that weren't around before, and each has been having quite a crazy side effects on him. He's currently been reverted back to a kid, and he's hanging around with Billy Batson, who turns into Shazam. So that's kind of fun. I guess it's kind of weird and neat and funny, like I said, because it is the Ice Cream Man team doing it, so kind of weird and silliness, but also kind of strange and spooky at the same time. Lex Luthor is working with Toyman and Dr. Sivian to get rid of them. Obviously, they have a crazy contraptions and setups in this amusement park that they're going to do. And a lot of this story is done in Billy Batson's journal, which he does like drawings for his psychiatrist. I guess they call it draw therapy in that. So a lot of this done is kind of like kid cartoon artwork. So that's kind of cool too. And it has the two of them, having to deal in this stupid amusement park and all these challenges that the villains put out. So very much again like a Scooby-Doo gang type of thing. So, and then at the end, we see Superman have to get turned back into an adult and then deal with the next part of the kryptonite stuff. So, which I believe is dealing with Mxyzptlk. So that's been a fun book too, because I like Ice Cream Man. From Dark Horse, we have a new series here called The Guy in the Chair. I like this one. It's a lot of fun. I could see this probably be turned into a movie property or a TV show property. We have a guy here named Abby, and he is the guy in the chair, the guy that works the computers and for people who are on missions and that. So this guy works for a private security firm, and he's teamed up with a woman named Merlin, who is great at her job in that, and they've been together for a long time and very successful. But at the same time, he has a crush and kind of fall in love with her, and that's not allowed, of course. So they never interact outside of work. And like I said, he's just the guy that, almost like a video game type of guy, sits at the desk and has her eyes and ears and helps her out with logistics and electronic stuff and that. And she goes around doing the super spy mission stuff. So one day he finds out that she was killed, and at the end of the issue we find out that she hasn't been killed. They either faked her death or she's on the run in that, and she's there to try and get his help in that. So pretty good fun start book to. From Image, we have issue 9 of the Rockefellers. I really like this book so far. It's part of that Ghost Machine universe. This is about a family from the 25th century that has come back and is hiding in the current time. We find out more here that the organization that's hunting them, the main hunter is actually the aunt or the sister of the dad, who was a scientist like him. And the reason that he and his family left their time is because this science that he's been dealing with was going to be used in a way that's going to harm the earth and that, and the company is chasing him for it. And during one of these accidents, while he was trying to escape, and his sister was mortally hurt, and he had to operate on her using this technology, and now she's like this cyborg. So family drama there, excellent artwork in here, and I'm not sure how, but eventually this is all going to tie into the other characters in this universe, like the Hornsby and Hollows and Redcoat and Geiger in that as well too. So, and then next month is a Halloween issue. So I always say this is kind of like a Space Family Robinson one, where they're hiding out in our time. So, and lastly, probably the pick of the week is the new issue of Transformers. So the first 24 issues were done by Daniel Warren Johnson, and now Robert Kirkman has taken over the writing, starting off a new arc here, and this has been awesome in here. We have Megatron, who is rounding up the last of his defeated and wounded Decepticons, and he's just ripping them apart too, because he calls them such big losers and how there's such disappointments and everything. So lots of things go on there. Then we have the after outcome of the Autobots helping the humans clean up after the war. So this is all literally taking place right after the end of the other issues, just starting a new writing team and new art team. And it's pretty good there too. I must say I enjoy it. Lots of action as normal in here. And yeah, it's good to see where the Transformers are going to be going from here. A new, I won't say antagonist, but a new party or characters are introduced here. A third type of 80s toy property line is introduced here. And I don't want to say it out loud too much of a spoil there. I just gave a little bit of a spoiled picture there, but it's neat to see how they're going to be introduced. I want this introduced into the Energon universe as well. So that was pretty exciting as well. Alright, that's what I read this week and I thought stood out. Check out these. Hopefully maybe something here you didn't know about and maybe you could be interested. Otherwise, we'll see you next week for more reviews. Peace out, guys.